All right, welcome back to our tutorial on SPEAR. We've brought back that original bowl file just so we can take a look at some of the specific manipulations that we can do. For example, you can use SPEAR to clean sound, and this is not very evident in the sound. This is not very loud, but let's just say we want to make sure we don't have all this room noise in that part of the sound. And so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to select the box tool, and I'm going to select all of that material here, and I'm going to delete it. Okay, and I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to zoom in a little tighter, and we can zoom in this way. We can also zoom in vertically and horizontally so that we can really get more specific here, and get that out of the way and select all of this. Okay, and delete that. Alrighty, and we can select all of that and delete that, and we can select that and delete that. And again, this is just cleaning the sound. So this is a quick way that you can clean sound. Again, this is altering the sound because this is synthesizing it from sine waves. But there are other programs that you can actually clean sound where it gives you a spectrograph, and you can clean. I know the advanced version of WaveLab. You can do that. You can actually go in with the spectrum analyzer and actually do the same type of select a rectangular set or a long wave and delete them that way to get rid of noise and extra information that you don't want in your sound. All right, we have zoomed way out. Hopefully I didn't delete everything. Oh, I'm also very high in the spectrum here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we can delete that there and so forth. You can be as tight and as precise as you want when you're cleaning your sounds. All right, so let's take a look at just some of the other features quickly before we go. All right, so I've selected that fundamental here. Okay, and we can use these transforms. Change the amplitude. I showed you that in a little bit of a video of making things softer or louder. We can do a frequency shift. Frequency flip, that's interesting. Let me just do a quick little demonstration of that because that's kind of cool. So let me draw. Okay, I'm going to draw this right here. Okay. Okay. Now, if I do flip, it's going to literally flip that, invert it. So it should keep this here where it started and then flip this so that it goes, instead of going up to, what is it going up to? Approximately 1082 hertz. It will go down to here. Visually, I'm doing this guessing, so about 935. Okay, so let's do that. We'll flip. Okay. I'm sorry, it flipped it on an axis. It had a central axis point and it flipped it that way. So it inverted it on a central axis point. Okay. If I undo that. So the initial start of the frequency is about 1042. And if I flip, you can see it raised it up here. So it just flipped it in place on a central axis point here somewhere in the middle. Okay. So that's an interesting way. And then I could copy and paste that and then move that around. And then maybe if I line them up almost exactly perfect and I flip it again, now I'm going to have the original sound and its inversion together. So an interesting way of getting a different effect. So that's the flipping the frequency. Let me Control Z all that and get rid of that. Frequency shift. Let me redo the. Let's see, frequency shift. I think that's just another way of transposing, basically. But in this case, if you know exactly where, if you're using these movement tools, you're kind of approximating. If you know exactly, I want to move this up exactly 100 hertz or 1,000 hertz. That's the way to do it. And again, you can do negative. So if I wanted to move that down, it's at about 1,000. So let's say I want to do minus 500. It's going to drop that about 500 hertz. So then now this should pop in at below what we can see, but we'll track it down there in a second here. So There it is. Okay, so you can see it dropped it down about 1,000 hertz. And if I zoom out and undo that, oops, I need to zoom out this way. Okay, let me redo. Okay, I redid it and then I undid it. Okay, so you can see that's flipping again. So rather doing it by pitch, which is what one of the options we have here, we can do it by pitch. It'll gradate it to the scale, the tuning, the 12-tone system that we use. This way you can actually specifically transform frequencies. Fade-ins and fade-outs. Again, when you draw your own line with the draw tool, SPEAR is going to give you an automatic fade-in and fade-out. But if you want the fade-in to be longer and the fade-out to be longer, again, you can use these specific tools here, and you could select this, much of it. And then do a fade in, and then it'll give you a longer fade. Okay. And it's asking you here where you want, how long the duration you want it to be. Now this sound is almost 12 seconds long. So if I wanted to fade in from this point to here, I could say maybe 4 seconds. Okay. And now you can see we have a lighter color here. And it was a longer fade in to get that sound to come in. So anyways, those are some of the other little tools that you have here under the transpose menu. So you can have more specific transposition. You can say, I want it to go up 12 semitones, which would be an octave, or I want it to go up 6 semitones, which would be a tritone. Okay. Now, because I didn't have anything specifically selected, you heard it transposed everything. So if I wanted, again, just to specifically do this, then I would need to transpose it that way. Now it just did that. So be very careful, make sure you're selecting exactly what you want to transform. Okay, we have our zoom here. We can zoom in frequency, zoom in time. So it's, again, we control those here in the bottom right hand corner. Zooming in time, zooming in frequency, zooming out. If you use control brackets, that's going to go both at the same time. And then if you lose your toolbars, okay, like if I exit out of these, okay, oh, where are my tools? Where did they go? How can I do this? That's your window. Toolbar, control bar, cursor information, and then a console. Alrighty. So more specific controls of your playback speed, and I think you can do a subtraction. I've never tried this before, but you can take one sound file and subtract it from another, which would give you some interesting results. And again, this is just a fun place to play with sound, to just experiment and play with sine waves and get some different results. I believe that is everything I wanted to do in SPEAR. So we will go back to our piece in Audacity now.